Introduction. I want to thank you for purchasing the book Empaths and Empathy. This book contains proven steps and strategies on how to cope with life as an empath. It is also useful for non-empaths to learn more about friends and family who might be potential empaths. It would definitely help a non-empath learn how to manage living with an empath. This guide could also be used by someone who is trying to figure out whether or not they are an empath. It has the criteria that one has to meet in order to be an empath. This guide goes into the world of an empath in so much detail that it is difficult to explain all that you will learn in this tiny introduction. Basically, all life situations and struggles that an empath can encounter is written about in the book. As an empath, this book will help you nurture your gift and protect yourself from the negatives. Non-empaths can benefit greatly by learning everything to know about an empath. Perhaps there is an empath in your life that you have to deal with in some way. I highly encourage you to look at the contents to see more sections that are included in this complete guide. Thanks again for purchasing this book. I hope you enjoy it. Chapter 1. Getting to know the empath and its path. What is an empath? That's a question that a lot of people tend to ask. What exactly is an empath, and what do they do? At its core, what an empath is a person that has a supernatural and very powerful ability to feel and understand the emotional and mental state of another person. This is why the term empath is shortened from empathetic, because it simply means that a person who is able to understand people better has the ability to mentally know how another person is feeling or even thinking. Now, you might even be asking the question about what makes an empath so special. After all, empathy is just the natural state that people should be familiar with. As human beings, we should all be aware of the state that our fellow humans are in, and adjust our attitudes to be different towards that person. We are social creatures, after all. That's how we've survived and adapted as social creatures for millennia during our initial development. It's a good question, as being an empath and being an empathetic person is generally confused for one or the other. In fact, being empathetic is a quality people should be, but it doesn't make you a true empath. Why? Simply because empaths are more in tune with another person and their current state. We as people often mask and hide our emotions very well, often behind a veil of sorts to keep people out. This could be because we don't want people to know how we truly feel, to prevent a social faux pas, or because we tend not to think of it as important. Empaths, though, instinctively know how a person feels through different means. What sort of means are we talking about? That depends on the type of empath. In truth, empaths are just as widely varied as people in general. No two empaths are truly alike, and there's no distinct type of one ability that an empath might have. In fact, it's even argued that on some level, every human alive, to some degree, has the capacity to be an empath, with practice and determination. This is something that this book will later be covering as well. But in terms of possible abilities of an empath, it could be a multitude of different ways to understand another person. It could be the ability to see different areas on a person, such as hues, auras, or different colors. It could be a way of precognition, where an empath has the ability to view the future in a way, knowing how a person will feel at a certain moment in time. They might simply be intuitive to their surroundings. They might even just have a gut feeling, an instinct, if you will, in knowing how another person is just by being around them.